landed successfully. So an extraordinary moment. India has made history by becoming the first nation to land near the moon's south pole. India now only the fourth country to have achieved a soft landing on the moon.
India has made space history, becoming the first nation to soft land a spacecraft on the moon's south pole. The lunar probe Chandrayaan 3 touched down just a short while ago, following weeks of nail-biting anticipation across the nation. Well, you couldn't hear it there, but there was thunderous applause breaking out in mission control room on that soft landing. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi joined virtually, seen joining those celebrations all the way from Johannesburg, where he is attending the BRICS summit in South Africa. This is the remotely controlled spacecraft's second attempt at landing on the lunar South Pole. Its previous mission failed in 2019 after scientists lost contact with the module moments before it crashed. Experts say that the success of this mission will solidify India's position in the global space race. It joins only 3 other space agencies that have reached the moon's surface, those of the US, the former Soviet Union, and China. For more, Rebecca Bundan joins us live. She's in Mumbai. Rebecca, this is a moment of national pride for India. Walk us through what the reaction has been like on the ground.
It's a huge moment of national pride. People ahead of this were literally praying for the mission to be successful, gathering at temples, at churches, mosques, performing rituals to pray for the spacecraft to successfully land. And this does see India becoming only the 4th country in the world to achieve that successful landing on the lunar surface, and the first country to actually land in the moon's southern polar region. So that's seen as a massive achievement. It's only made more significant, of course, by the fact that we saw Russia's moon mission just a few days ago actually failing, crash landing, and the fact that India did attempt this process back in 2019. And sadly, that landing part of the mission was unsuccessful, and that led to huge disappointment. However, there was a lot more preparation now that went into this, the learnings from that, and people were really very excited, nervous ahead of the landing. But when it happened, the joy, the applause that we saw, the people in the mission control room cheering, and India's Prime Minister, of course, Narendra Modi, watching on virtually and himself waving a little flag when he saw that it had successfully landed. And he talked about how this was an achievement for all of humanity, and the fact that he believes that this is something that will really change the world's perception of India. So certainly a huge moment of national pride for the country. A lot of people across the country were watching this very closely and nervously, and now just hugely relieved and excited by this achievement for India.
Rebecca, you mentioned the world changing its view, perhaps, of India now with this success. It clearly becomes a major space power. Explain to us the significance of this achievement.
Yes, absolutely. With this achievement, the fact that India is now in the 4th country in the world to achieve that, and the fact that it's now landed near the South Pole region, which is a first for anyone, that really does see India emerging as a global space power. And India has been really focusing on trying to boost its space economy, to boost its space power, and this has really now cemented that process. India has also, in more recent years, become known for launching smaller satellites. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has also been opening up to investment into private space launches. So it's really hoping, India is now really hoping that will bring more investment into the sector. That, of course, then creates jobs for the country, boosts the economy. So this really paves the way for a lot more money to come into the sector, a lot more focus, and for India to play a much bigger role globally in this sector.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca Bundan there reporting live from Mumbai.
First nation to land on the south side of the moon. We can show you some live pictures that are being brought to us by the Indian Space Research Organisation showing mission control. And we're coming to a key moment. Well, there's the Prime Minister Narendra Modi there on their pictures. So interesting to see whether or not he is going to address everybody ahead of the expected touchdown. And let's just clarify some of the timings, because we were speculating a little bit before the break about when exactly we will see this landing. Tom, what can you tell us about how far away we should be?
As we understand it...
What are the big dangers? I mean, it's, as you say, it's a very rough surface, isn't it? Far more craters than in some other parts.
Yeah, but they've managed to get a lot more...
Just going to interrupt because there's...
I think they've done it.
Oh, wow.
Applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है.
So confirmation we're having that it has landed successfully. So an extraordinary moment. India has made history by becoming the first nation to land near the moon's south pole. India now only the fourth country to have achieved a soft landing on the moon as well. Let's see if we can listen in.
Related to this mission, you know, why is this such a big deal?
For the last 50 years or more, like for half a century, we haven't had a moon landing. Almost every mission that tried to land on the moon failed. 4 out of the last 5 missions failed, including the Chandrayaan 2 and Lunar 25, as we saw. It's been very difficult to get something on the moon, especially on the south side, which is of interest.
A host of things could go wrong, couldn't they? I mean, we did just see the Russian attempt fail. But, you know, what are the chances of success? I mean, is it essentially, are we hoping that this one is going to work?
Yes. But the thing is, even with the Russian mission, we saw that the engine was running for a little longer than it should have. And this is the reason why it kind of crashed into the moon before it was supposed to land softly. With Chandrayaan 2, we had similar problems where it was supposed to land gracefully, but instead, moments before it was supposed to land, it just hard crashed. So this is because in the last minute, when it's supposed to land, it's autonomous. It's not maneuvered from here.
They've obviously done a lot of research into the surface of the moon in this area, but what are the big dangers? I mean, it's, as you say, it's a very rough surface, isn't it? Far more craters than in some other parts.
Yeah, but they've managed to get a lot more...
Just going to interrupt because there's...
I think they've done it.
Oh, wow.
Applauding. Let us all wait to hear from the Secretary, Department of Space and Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
लैंडर मॉड्यूल पूरी तरह से सेफली और सॉफ्टली चंद्रमा के सतह पे लैंड हो चुका है.
So confirmation we're having that it has landed successfully. So an extraordinary moment. India has made history by becoming the first nation to land near the moon's south pole. India now only the fourth country to have achieved a soft landing on the moon as well.
I'm just sorry, I'm looking up at the screen because I'm seeing the altitude. It's at 0.9 kilometres. So that's, it's 900 metres, 890 metres above the surface of the moon, firing its thrusters. Those little boosters there you'll be seen to adjusting its attitude. You know, they need to make sure they get absolutely level on touchdown. And we should be expecting it to make the surface of the moon in, it's 13:29, 5 minutes time. But there's still applause. Velocity is slowed down. But we're not expecting the landing for a few more minutes to come. Yeah, we're still at 800 metres sequence. So there's the